Hello. If you're watching this video, you're probably going through your spiritual awakening and you have a lot of questions as to what is going on. And you're probably more interested into spirituality than you've ever been before. So I'll start with the basics. Art is a game and a school. This is why we're using certain terms like reprogramming and going into the subconscious, conscious mind to change our belief system, to remove the conditional programming and replace it with our own programming. When we start to do that, we become like Neo from the Matrix. But we're also here to learn lessons, which is why we're saying that Earth is a school. We've all volunteered to be here. There's this idea that we've chosen our paths, our learning paths. Now, how much you agree to that is entirely up to you, because we don't remember everything. But if we start to look at every single day as a learning opportunity, life becomes a little bit more meaningful, and it gives us structure to aspire to move towards an end goal, a milestone, a soul purpose. And our natal birth chart actually reveals a lot about who we are, the instructions that we came to Earth with. And what's happening right now is this great mass awakening where we are being reconnected to our higher self. And our higher self is the consciousness that is kind of operating. We're connected to our consciousness. So we're the body, but we're also the consciousness. And the consciousness is limited. However, through all the conditioning that we've experienced, through societal messages, mass media, through our family, through friends, through these stereotypes and ideas as to who we should be, where we should fit in society, we've kind of forgotten that we can be so much more than the available options, that we can pave our own path. And those that are currently going through the mass awakening are being reminded of their soul purpose and the path they're here to pave, the positive change they're here to bring. So the first message is that every day is a school day and you're here to learn, but you're not here to learn alone. And so let's look into the 3 types of relationships you're going to experience as part of your learning process. Stella, writer and light worker, here to inspire positive change. So we've got 3 different types: twin flames, soulmates, and karmics. You might have heard those 3 as, part of your spiritual onboarding. You might have seen or heard them in tarot readings, oracle readings. And these are terms that are going to help you understand the types of relationship that the messages that these readers and channelers are trying to bring to you. This is why they're not saying, oh, this person their letter starts with M, their letter starts with N. That matters a little bit less than the type of relationship, so that you can understand the type of a lesson that you need to learn with them or through the relationship with them. So the first thing to mention here is that every day is a school day, and your consciousness, the best way to think of it is a database of information. So every time, Earth is game in the school, we know that, and every lifetime is an opportunity to advance your consciousness. So when you look at your natal birth chart, you're going to see that you have a sun sign, which is who you're supposed to become in order to accomplish your soul purpose, in order to release the most of your potential possible during your lifetime. But you also have your moon sign, which is the existing information, research that your consciousness has already unlocked and collected. So this is kind of like the identity you're going to embody until you get comfortable being uncomfortable, stepping outside of your comfort zone. So that is why it's useful to think of your lifetime as an additional research opportunity for your consciousness, because yes, you are the person that is currently in your body with your name, with your history so far, but you are so much more. And every time that you invest in healing the inner child wounds, doing the shadow work, which means taking accountability for your thoughts, for your actions, for your belief system and how that is shaped. Every time that you choose to replace a toxic habit with a healthy habit, that is you removing a plugin, an add-on that the system has used to block your access to your consciousness. That is you being able to ground more information through your connection with your higher self. And so you're not learning alone. This is a school, but you're not learning alone. And these are the 3 types of kind of relationships that you're gonna experience. These are soul contracts you sign up to complete on Earth as part of your learning path. So when you meet these people, your family is one of those contracts. You come to the family, and that is a soul contract that you have to complete. So there are certain lessons that you're here to learn with your family. There are certain lessons that you're here to learn with the friends that are going to be in your community. And then once you go out into the wider world and you start to meet people that are outside of your community, you're going to start to recognize them as one of these three soul types of contracts: twin flames, soulmates, and karmic relationships. And they're each with their own authentic signature designed to help you learn and grow and change. And some of the lessons are going to be a little bit more difficult. So you're going to experience a little bit more of a hardship with some relationships. But ultimately, every relationship, every lesson that you experience, you're meant to bring the knowledge back to yourself so that you can ascend, so that you can grow from the experience. It's not about the others, it's about you. Everything that is happening to you, with you, as in your higher self, is guiding these lessons so that you can learn, you can ascend, you can advance the consciousness that you're connected to. So let's look at the three different types, starting with the twin flames. So when a twin flame comes into your life, they will motivate you, they will inspire you. When a person that is a twin flame becomes part of your daily life, or you have an encounter with them, it's almost like you're going to feel the energy shift. You're going to feel your whole energetic field shift, because the connection is so strong. So they are your growth teachers. Twin flames are the people who inspire you and push you to become a greater version of yourself. They will remind you of the potential that's within you and trigger your awakening to the next level. So they're going to kind of inspire you to operate at a higher level in terms of your operational system, but also in the energetic centers. So you have 7 chakras, and each chakra kind of unlocks a higher level of operational system for you. So if you operate on the first chakra, which is the root chakra, it's the grounding chakra, is the chakra that is connected to safety. So you might be a little bit more focused on the material side, on your financial security, on financial safety. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you start to operate one chakra above that, which is the sacral chakra, you start to think about creativity and self-expression and these ideas and sensualities. You unlock different levels of operating. So you're not so focused and bothered about the financial side anymore. You're more inspired, and you're allowing the inspiration to take you where it needs to take you, for you to create. Then after that, you have the solar plexus, which is the leadership. So now that you've formed these ideas, when you start to operate at the level of the solar plexus, you're able to channel those ideas, to share them, to be the voice of those ideas. Then you have the heart chakra, which is the level of empathy and connecting with others, which is the level also of vulnerability. So when a twin flame brings you higher from the creative pursuits, let's say, to the level of connecting and exposing your vulnerabilities and being authentic in that way, you're going to feel uncomfortable, because that's growth. That's part of your growth. You are ascending. You're starting to operate at a higher level. Then you have the throat chakra, which is speaking the truth and being honest about how you feel, setting boundaries. It's not just about the self-expression anymore, but it's also about being honest about your needs, being honest about how certain things make you feel. And that takes courage that you've already unlocked with the solar plexus. However, you still need to maintain the chakras, because they could get out of balance. And after the throat chakra, we have the third eye, which is your imagination, where you start to ground even more ideas from your higher self, where you start to experience these channeled messages, these channeled downloads, these intuitive messages that lead you in different directions that you might have anticipated. And finally, we have the crown chakra, which is the energetic center for interconnectedness, because we are all connected. We are all one. So the more you ascend to operate at that level, the more you're going to start to notice that it's not us versus them, me versus you. It's how can I create in a way that unites us? How can I express myself in a way that unites us? And that is the purpose of a twin flame journey is for you to ascend from the trauma, to ascend from your triggers, to ascend from these everyday worries to the point where you're able to become yourself, authentically yourself, and channel the ideas and step into your purpose. So the twin flame people in your life, the twin flames, will remind you of the potential that's within you and trigger your awakening to the next level. They're going to trigger your spiritual growth. They're going to push you. And sometimes it will be unexpected. Somebody's going to enter your life and your life is going to get a 360 and you're going to be like, whoa, you rocked my world, quite literally. And it's all designed to push you forward, to elevate you. And twin flames will trigger you. They will trigger your healing work as much as they push you on your self-growth journey, because they act as mirrors. So they will reveal to you what you need to work on. And sometimes we're not ready for the truth, especially when it's it arrives this fast. But when you discover that you are on this twin flame journey with somebody, they're not going anywhere. And I think this is the point of growth. We have choices to make, and if we choose to learn the lessons, we continue on this path. If not, these contracts get kind of canceled or they get switched. If you're not learning the lessons that way, you're going to be moved to a different kind of contract. It's all part of the design, it's all part of the backup plans. But twin flames, if you stick to them, if you find the strength, the courage, the willpower to change, your growth is going to be accelerated and you're going to grow into a more authentic version of yourself in days instead of months and years, if you really do the work. Then we have the soulmates that can be compared to or defined as love teachers. So soulmates will come into your life to love you unconditionally and help you experience a partnership based on equal give and take. Soulmates make life easier. They make very loyal friends and lovers, but they will come into your life after you've done some of the healing work. So twin flames are not necessarily partners, as in romantic partners. Twin flames can be role models that you suddenly meet. They might be peers that you start to collaborate with. They might be business partners. These are the people that push you beyond your limits, because your limits today will be different tomorrow. If you keep doing the work, your limits are you're gonna break through the limits. Every day you power through the challenges, you power through the difficulties, because that's how you polish a diamond. You apply pressure, and obviously you need to look after your mental health and physical health. But if you allow the self-growth journey to take you where it needs to take you in order for you to fulfill your potential, you're going to become unrecognizable in a matter of months if you are consistent with the work, and if you understand that it's taking you where you need to be taken, if you surrender to the journey. Soulmates also don't need to be romantic partners. They can be a best friend. Again, they can be a business partner. They can be a colleague, but they come in your life to make you feel easier to love, easier to understand, because we're all going through our own lessons. Even if we're, in the same environment, we each have different lessons to learn. But when you're communicating with someone who's a soulmate, they just make you feel understood very easy. It doesn't mean that they're doing the healing work for you or vice versa. It just means that you can support each other with more ease. The pressure that comes with the twin flame journey is removed within the soulmate connections. But the growth isn't as rapid, as fast, as drastic and dramatic as it will be with the twin flame journey. And then you have the karmic teachers, the karmic lessons to learn. And let me just switch the screen. So karmic relationships help us learn some of the more important but painful lessons through tough love. Karmic relationships are designed to be a little bit uncomfortable, which is how they resemble the twin flame relationships. But with the karmic relationships, the sense of uncomfortableness comes where you begin to question if there's more to life, because the karmic relationships are kind of meant to suppress you a little bit so that they make you feel uncomfortable because you're growing. And they're your greatest teachers in the sense of they're reminding you of your self-worth. The moment you say, I deserve more, I am worth more, I want to experience more, more shall be given to you. But you need to get to that point of being so suppressed that you need to, like, no, I claim my path, I deserve more, and I will have more. Whereas with the twin flame journey, it's almost like you want to stay here, but once you meet the twin flame journey, it's like, oh, okay, this is going too fast. And it's like, no, your higher self knows that you're ready to experience the growth at this speed. So you just need to trust the guidance, and you need to follow through with your actions. With the karmic connections, it's going to feel like a slow burn, and you're going to feel like you're getting burned down to the ground, but then you're going to rise like a phoenix once you break free from them. Once you say, I think I've learned a lesson from this relationship, I think I'm ready to move on. Hopefully, I have imparted some of my wisdom onto you. Again, with the karmics, it's not always going to be smooth sailing departure, because obviously when people see you growing, they want to be around you because you bring them new life, you bring them new ideas. But if they're not willing to do the work, they become karmics because they block some of your growth. And karmic relationships help you rise above the current circumstances so that you can return to self-love. Because when you love yourself, you understand that you are in control of changing your habits to be healthier, to match that love. So each of these teachers, each of these relationships are designed to help you learn something from the experiences. They're not here to torture you. They're here to help you understand how life works, how life operates, and how you can operate on a different level. And they're all very unique in that sense. But a twin flame journey is one where you're going to grow. And if you're not ready for that growth, your higher self might push you, even if you're not ready. If it's time for you to grow, if your higher self has given you the signal that it's time for you to grow, you will be pushed in these situations that take you out of your comfort zone. And it's not going to be like the karmic relationships, because the karmic relationships are all about blocking your potential, whereas the twin flames are all about releasing your potential. So they feel uncomfortable because growth can be uncomfortable too, but they have different functions. And so this is the point to mention that if you haven't done the inner child healing, if you haven't removed the toxic habits, if you still have a toxic lifestyle, if you have a lack of growth mindset, so you're operating with the victim mindset or a scarcity mindset, lack mindset, and if you haven't done any shadow work, which is you taking full accountability and analyzing how your own behavior has impacted other people and how you can change your behavior to break the cycles where you're contributing to, let's say, manipulation or gossiping, that is shadow work. That is a part of type of shadow work where you say, do you know what? I think these are actions that are hurting other people. So I'm going to take the accountability and I'm going to shift this. I'm going to create a more positive habit. And every time that I see gossip, I'm not going to participate. I'm going to do something instead. This is you rewiring your subconscious mind, your conscious mind. You're reprogramming your mind in a way that you can be healthier. And in the process, you start to transition from forming trauma bonds into aligning with the right relationships for your growth. It's all part of the growth anyway. It's all part of the learning experience. But trauma bonds happen when you're not living to your full potential. And so you bond with others who are stuck in life like you. So if you haven't done your inner child trauma healing, you're going to be more likely to get triggered, which is going to lead to the toxic habits, which are your coping mechanisms. So you're more likely to have this vicious cycle of being triggered, coping mechanism. I'm going to break free, triggered, coping mechanism. So you're more likely to remain in this vicious cycle, repeating the same patterns, the same choices, and therefore you become unable to break free from the limitations and expand on your potential and live fulfilling more of your potential. And that's how you end up attracting these people who are also stuck there with you. And you can get a trauma bond with a twin flame. And the way that you're going to experience that is essentially this push and pull type of relationship where essentially the twin flame journey is all about you doing the inner work, but because the twin flame serves as a mirror, you're able to see in real time what part of you need to work on. And the same way you're showing the person in front of you the same things. And if one of you is not ready to hear or see the truth, It might be the push and pull situation where one person is rising, they're healing, and the other one is not. So they're trying to bring you down a little bit because they're saying, slow down, I need more time. And you're like, nope, my higher self is guiding me to go forward. And that is the right way to escape the trauma bond, because you're not meant to do the work for somebody else. And especially on a twin flame journey, you are meant to grow. And if you're in this expansive season, you're meant to grow and allow your wings to soar, to spread and inspire other people to grow with you. If you're in a trauma bond with a karmic relationship, again, you're going to feel very demotivated. You're going to feel this lack of motivation, and the people that are karmics, that serve the function of a karmic, are going to remind you that they're going to show you what happens if you don't fulfill your potential. But if you are here to release more of your potential, which is the case with a lot of us, most of us, but some people have kind of given up. They've decided, I'm not going to do the journey. But if you're here to do the journey of growth and you are stuck in these trauma bonds, relationships with karmics, they will keep bringing you down and giving you reasons to stay down. They're going to say, oh, let's go out and party. Partying is great. You're going to feel good after that. Let's order the junk food. You're going to feel, what's one day of eating that? What's one day of watching the drama, gossiping? You know, they're going to give you reasons to stay at the low frequency level, where this is a zone where growth doesn't happen. And when you start healing, you will be unable to stay. You will literally see it with your own eyes that this wasn't healthy for you and it's not healthy for you. So there will be no other way but going higher in terms of your spiritual growth. And so the twin flames are the connections that mirror your potential. Twin flames mirror back to you your own potential. If you were to do the work, they will literally show up in your life and you will see it. You see a glimpse of the future where you have become very successful in your chosen industry, in your chosen field. But ultimately, twin flames are not about outsourcing the work. No one can do the work for you. You have to keep focusing on your own actions. Even if you can see how the person in front of you can change their life for the better, sometimes the lesson is to just be there as the moral support, to be there as the person that leads by example, because you cannot take the lessons for other people. You cannot take the exams for other people, because the universe is going to test you. If you've learned a lesson, especially when it comes to self-worth and setting boundaries, how can the universe test you if you've learned your lesson to set boundaries if it doesn't send you people that cross your boundaries? Think about it that way. This is just the universe testing to see if you've learned a lesson. That's all. And Eternal Ascension of the Spotless Mind gives a really good portrait of what the twin flame connection feels like. And obviously the movie touches on many subjects, but one of them is when you meet somebody who's a twin flame. Obviously, this is a very kind of romantic scenario, but when you meet someone who's a twin flame, they will trigger a remembering in you. And that remembering could be about your purpose. It could be about your potential. It could be about your own connection with them. Because as I said, every lifetime is an opportunity for your consciousness to expand on the existing knowledge based on previous research. So you might have already done the journey called Life on Earth with these people before, and playing different characters, learning different lessons. But your consciousness is a database of information. So everything that you've experienced throughout your existence, not just in this lifetime, is in your consciousness. And if you've shared meaningful moments with somebody in previous lifetimes, the energetic connection, the database has recorded all of that. That is why when you meet some people and you say, I feel like I've known you my whole life, that is the case in some ways. You've shared learning experiences with this person before. But also there's a theory that you might just remember, when you meet somebody that you're on a twin flame journey with, you kind of unlock the timelines, the multiverse, so to speak. So you can almost remember what it feels like to be friends with them, to be partners with them, because you've kind of glimpsed into the future, into the timelines, and all of that information has been unlocked. You don't understand it, but you feel it. It's like you've unlocked the level up, but you still need to do the work. Soulmates are the people that come to grow with you. So soulmates allow you to grow side by side and make it easier for you to release your potential. Of course, each person does the work required for their own growth. And their function, these types of soul contracts are here to make your life a little bit easier. The growth is not going to be the same as it will be with the twin flame journey, but you're still going to fulfill your purpose. It's just going to be a little bit more gentle. And Pam and Jim from The Office are a great example of a soulmate connection. They were humans essentially in the show. They made mistakes. They weren't perfect, but they always had this love for each other. They always had this support. They kept supporting each other. They each had different aspirations, different goals, but they supported each other unconditionally. Didn't matter if they were to travel different cities, different places, they supported each other. And that's the type of ease that comes with soulmates. And when you have a friend that supports you unconditionally, when you have a partner, business partner, a life partner that supports you, it just changes the dynamics. You know that you're not alone, even if you have to travel miles and miles away out of your comfort zone to pursue your dream. And finally, the karmics are the relationships that block your potential at some point, sooner or later. And the karmic relationships are the teachers who show you what's going to happen if you stop growing. Kind of like they remind you the worst case scenario. If the twin flame journey is quite harsh because it shows you the best case scenario, but you need to do the work. And it's like this massive gap between the vision that you've unlocked and seen and the vision that you've been revealed through this connection. But you're here and you're like, how am I going to get to this point? Through daily actions. With the karmic connections, it's almost, you see what's going to happen if you just remain on the same path, the same timeline. It's like a flat line. You're like, oh, no, I can't do that. I need to do more with my life. I'm here to do more with my life. So it's one way to give you the lesson to refocus back to yourself and start growing. And one of the most important lessons with karmic relationships is that you're not here to save other people. You're here to focus on your own growth, to advance your own consciousness, your soul purpose, to discover what it is, to step into it, to become more authentic, to release more of your potential. And I think this is where the karmic teachers, the very skilled ones, they have a lot of tactics. And they kind of trap you in these trauma bonds with manipulation, sub stories, and it's a smart system. But if you come back to the first slide, where we're all here to learn, we're all here to advance, we're not here to save one another, we're here to grow with one another. That's how we inspire others to get out of this being stuck in life, leading by example. And I've chosen 500 Days of Summer as the kind of example of a karmic relationship because their relationship wasn't bad. It was a seasonal relationship. It wasn't a relationship that you share for the rest of your life. And I think if you watch the movie the first time, you might think, oh, she was awful. No, she was fulfilling the role she needed to fulfill in terms of life, learning, and growth. She came into his life to remind him to come back to himself and focus on his own growth. Because if you watch the movie for a second time, you're going to see that he was obsessed with her. He was obsessed with the relationship. So what happened is he completely lost sight of who he was because he was giving so much attention to somebody else. And this is what happens sometimes in relationships. We lose ourselves in the relationships. And these are the karmic relationships more often than not. And these karmic relationships are great teachers. They're painful teachers, but they're great teachers because they remind us what happened when we stop growing. They remind us what happens if we don't fulfill our potential. And 500 Days of Summer is a great movie that showcases that some relationships, as much as we want to make them work, they're not meant to be experienced for more than a season because the lessons that you're meant to exchange, one season is enough. Have you learned a lesson from those relationships? As you know, they might feel very precious and important, and they probably are because they need to teach you something important. But if you think about it, we don't know how much time we have on Earth, and we're not going to live forever. So take the lesson, appreciate it. Be grateful for the opportunity to share a little bit of time with every person that comes in your life. But don't get fixated on one person thinking, oh, that relationship was the love of my life. That relationship was going to save me. Or I was going to, if only I had stayed a little bit longer, I could have saved them. I could have, changed their life. Your presence has already changed people's lives in more than one ways, even if they haven't told you. So keep growing, keep being yourself, keep releasing your authenticity and your potential. That's how you step into your purpose. That's how you expand your consciousness. That's how you create change on earth. And this is the reminder, really, that we're all here to learn lessons. We're all here to create something. And these are the types of connections, soul contracts that we have so that we're not learning alone. But nothing is permanent, nothing is forever. And some of these relationships are going to remind you to break free from the codependency, step into your own persona a little bit more harshly than others. But it's all part of the learning experience. Hope that you found today's video useful. There are 3 playlists on my YouTube channel for Karmic Relationships, Twin Flames, and Soulmates, with more examples from movies and music, pop culture, as to what these relationships look like. If you have any questions, write a comment and I'll get back to you. And there's going to be some more videos coming next week. Yeah.